Grenade by Alan Gratz, Part 2, pages 211 through 217. Standoff. The bomb didn't explode. Not yet, but Masako was done. Her courage was exhausted. Her legs gave out, and she started to slide to the ground, sobbing. But Kimiko was there on the other side to take her hand and pull her the rest of the way past the bomb, out into the rain. Hideki sighed with relief, but he still had a job to do. He straightened and addressed the children. There, see? They both got past. We can do it too, Hideki told them. It's like a game. Who can get through without touching any of the metal? The children were wise to him, though. If Masako's fear hadn't already infected them, they had all seen enough bombs in the last 2 months, enough death, to understand the danger. They knew this wasn't a game. But if Hideki had learned anything from playing with his younger brother Osamu, it was that little kids were often brave where teenagers and adults were scared, because little kids thought they were invincible. The number of times Osamu had jumped down from a branch that was too high, or put his hands too close to the kitchen fire, or tried to pet a strange dog, Hideki got choked up thinking about his little brother. Osamu, who had been brave enough to leave half his family on board a strange ship for a land he'd never been to before. Osamu, whom he'd never see again. Hideki shook off his sorrow for his little brother, saving it for another time. If he didn't get these children past the mother of all bombs, they would all be joining Osamu too soon. One by one, Hideki helped the boys and girls slide around the bomb and into Kimiko's waiting hands outside. Hideki's stomach was full of butterflies the whole time, but not because he worried about the bomb going off and killing him, he realized, because he didn't want any more children, any more innocent Okinawans, to die for a fight that wasn't theirs. Halt! Where are you going? What are you doing? Someone yelled, and Hideki spun. A Japanese soldier was aiming a rifle right at them. Stop, or I'll shoot! The Japanese soldier cried. Hideki's heart caught in his throat. His first instinct was to panic, to run, but there was nowhere to run, and he'd been through too much by now to panic over a nervous IJA private aiming a shaky gun at him. Like Kimiko, Hideki didn't want to die, but he wasn't afraid of death anymore either. A steadying calm came over Hideki. It stilled him from head to toe like the cool breeze off the sea in summer, and all the tension left him. Hideki stepped in front of the last of the children, a little boy, right in between the soldier on one side and the boy and the bomb on the other. Go ahead, Hideki said. The soldier frowned. What? Go ahead and shoot, Hideki told him. But just know that if you miss, or if the bullet goes through me, you'll hit the bomb behind me, and then you'll be dead too. We all will be. The soldier's rifle dipped as he realized Hideki was right. Hideki watched the private's eyes dart this way and that as he considered his options. What's your name? Hideki asked the remaining little boy. Kazu, he squeaked. Go on, Kazu. You'll be all right, Hideki told him. The Japanese soldier took aim with his rifle again. No one is allowed to leave. Come away from there at once, or I'll shoot. The little boy looked to Hideki for direction, and Hideki nodded for him to go on past the bomb. Stop, the soldier said. He raised his rifle again, but Kazu didn't stop, and the soldier didn't shoot. When Kazu was safely through, Hideki slid the pack off his shoulders and turned to leave. I said stop, the soldier cried. There was panic in his voice, a panic Hideki no longer felt. Hideki handed his backpack through the narrow gap to Kimiko, then slid sideways to follow it. If the soldier tried to shoot him now, he had a better chance of hitting the bomb than Hideki. No one is permitted to leave, the private yelled. A riptide pulled at Hideki's stomach as the distance between the wall and the bomb got narrower and narrower. He was going to have to put his hands on the thing, wrap his arms around it the way everyone else had. Would his touching the bomb now set it off at last? Would the soldier let his orders override his common sense? Had Kimiko and Masako gotten the children far enough away where they wouldn't be hurt? Distracted by his own thoughts and fears, Hideki lost his balance the way Masako had. He'd meant to let himself against the bomb slowly, gently, but now he fell onto it with a teeth-rattling thud. Cling! The ceramic grenade in Hideki's pocket whacked the side of the bomb like a hammer, and he flinched and closed his eyes. Had the grenade cracked? Was it going to explode? Hideki froze for what seemed like an eternity, wondering if he was dead and just didn't know it. At last, he took a deep breath and opened his eyes. Gray painted metal and lines of rivets stared back at him. Water streamed down the side of the bomb like the sweat running down Hideki's back. The bomb was still there, and so was he. Hideki glanced sideways to see what the soldier was doing, but he was gone. Hideki, come on! Kimiko called to him. He turned to look the other way, and there she was, right by the bomb. She hadn't run off and left him. Hideki closed his eyes and slithered the rest of the way around the bomb, the grenade in his pocket digging into him as it scraped along. And then it wasn't scraping anymore. And there was more room between the cave wall and Hideki, and Kimiko was taking his hand and pulling him free. Hideki fell into his sister's waiting arms, and she held him while he shook. All the tension of the moment washed back over him. He and Kimiko hadn't hugged like this in a long time. They were both too old for that kind of thing, but now neither of them cared. They were still alive, and they were together, and they held on to each other like they would never let go again. What is that? Kimiko said at last, feeling the hard lump in Hideki's shirt pocket. A grenade, Hideki said. He pulled it out and showed it to her. That's not a grenade, you idiot, Kimiko said. It's a piece of pottery. It is too a grenade, Hideki said, and it works. I know. That was all he said. Kimiko seemed to understand there was more to the story, but she let it go, for now. You have a grenade? Masako called. She was watching them from beyond the next hill, where she waited with the children. Use it on the bomb! What? Hideki said. Why? To close the cave off, to blow them all up, Masako called. She knelt and put her arms around a little boy, the one who had still been in the cave when the Japanese soldier threatened to shoot them. It's only fair, after what they were going to do to us. Hideki thought about it as he and Kimiko joined the others. At last, he shook his head and put the grenade back in his pocket. You told me to be brave enough to slide past that beast, but you're not brave enough to throw your grenade at it? Masako challenged him. Hideki frowned. Was he just being a coward again? Maybe. But there was more to it than that. He couldn't explain it to Masako. He wasn't even sure he could explain it to himself. Shouts came from inside the cave. The soldier had gone back for help. Hideki didn't know if any of them would be able to squeeze past the bomb, or would set it off trying, but he didn't want to be around to find out. Come on, he told the others. Time to go. Where? Kimiko asked them. South? No, Hideki told her. North. Back through the front lines. We're going home.